Let me start with something most men never realize. Women aren't falling for the men who try the hardest. Not the loud ones, not the entertainers, not the men who flash muscles, cars, or confidence that feels forced. Those men may capture attention for a moment, but attention is not desire, and attention is not respect. What truly captivates a younger woman isn't what a man gives her. It's what he protects, what he holds back, what he carries in silence. It's the calm between his sentences, the steadiness in his presence, the quiet authority in his restraint. This kind of energy is rarely talked about, yet it's the very thing that creates powerful attraction. The truth is simple. The real game is invisible. The kind of attraction that doesn't rely on looks or age, but on energy. Controlled, grounded, intentional energy. Once you understand how this works, you'll realize why some men barely speak and still leave a lasting impression. Why a single glance can hold more weight than 1,000 compliments. You're about to understand a level of magnetism that most men never learn. The kind that doesn't chase women, because women feel compelled to move toward it. When you learn how to regulate your energy instead of scattering it, something shifts. A woman senses your presence without you needing to draw attention to yourself. Her guard softens, her interest heightens, and she begins thinking of you long after the conversation ends. This is where everything changes, because once you master presence and emotional restraint, the entire dynamic flips. You stop chasing. She starts leaning in. You become the man who doesn't need words to be noticed. The man whose silence carries meaning. The man whose every pause, every look becomes a current of attraction. If you think you know flirting, think again. By the end of this, you'll understand how to captivate younger women not through effort, but through a form of masculine composure they rarely encounter. Stay with me, because these insights will permanently reshape how women respond to you. Here's the first truth. Women today, especially younger women, are starving for presence. Not attention, presence. They're exhausted by men who talk without listening, who perform instead of connecting, who look at them without actually seeing them. A woman hears compliments every day, yet almost none of them reach her, because praise means nothing when it comes from a distracted mind. If you tell her she's beautiful, but your focus drifts every time she speaks, she feels it. Women crave the kind of presence that makes the world fade out, the kind that turns a conversation into a moment. That's what imprints on her memory. That's what makes her heart respond. Presence isn't silence, it's awareness. It's the ability to be in the moment with her, without rushing, without rehearsing your next line, without proving anything. A man with presence becomes interesting without trying. Because he isn't performing, he's simply grounded. When his eyes meet hers, he's not analyzing or seeking approval. He's there, fully. And that presence becomes magnetic. Young women live in a world full of noise, messages, likes, attention, pressure, superficial validation. When she encounters a man who is centered rather than scattered, something inside her shifts. She feels calmer around him. She becomes more open, more curious. Because this kind of energy is incredibly rare. Men who are present make women feel safe, not through protection, but through attention. They offer focus without overpowering, space without distance, interest without pressure. Most men misunderstand flirting. They think it's about clever words or confidence, but what truly stays with her is how she felt in your presence. Did you slow the moment down, or did you rush through it? Did you listen, or did you just wait for your turn to talk? You want to drive her crazy? Slow down. Breathe. Let her energy come to you. Watch her speak, notice her expressions, reply with intention. Speak less, but say more with the way you say it. This creates emotional gravity. She starts to orbit around your calmness. Your steadiness becomes irresistible, because presence is power, the quiet kind that requires no performance. When a man walks into a room with this kind of centered energy, women feel it before he says a word. Women sense chaotic energy instantly. They feel grounded energy even faster. A man who is scattered or reactive sends a signal of instability. But a man who is calm, composed, emotionally steady, he becomes a place for her to rest. And when your masculine presence is steady, her feminine energy rises naturally. That's the chemistry most men never learn to create. Presence also means you're not afraid of silence. Silence for you isn't awkward, it's powerful. It gives her room to feel, to wonder, to lean in. The man who can sit in silence without rushing to fill it becomes unforgettable. Because in that stillness, she feels your energy. You want to know why presence beats looks, money, or age. Because you can't fake presence. It reflects who you are internally, grounded, aware, emotionally mature. When she senses that, she relaxes. She becomes more natural, more expressive, more feminine. And once she feels that safety around you, no other man competes. So next time, stop trying to impress her. Stop performing. Just be fully present. Let your eyes linger. Let your silence speak. Let your awareness do the work. Presence doesn't push, it invites. And that invitation touches her deeper than words ever could. That's what younger women secretly crave. Not a man who performs, but a man who exists fully. Now let's talk about emotional tension, one of the strongest forces in attraction. Tension is not created by talking. Tension is created by everything unsaid. It's the moment between breaths, the way your eyes hold hers for a second too long, the deliberate space between your words. Most men think attraction comes from constant validation. They pour attention into her until it drains both of them. But that's not attraction, that's fatigue. A younger woman doesn't fall for the man who talks the most. She falls for the man who knows how to hold back, the one who gives her just enough to feel your interest, but not enough to fully understand you. That uncertainty is where attraction grows. Emotional tension is the art of restraint, the ability to let a moment breathe. Women don't crave constant intensity, they crave contrast. A warm smile, followed by a thoughtful pause, a gentle touch, followed by space, a deep gaze, followed by a mystery. This contrast sparks desire, it ignites curiosity, it activates her imagination. Tension isn't manipulation, it's awareness. It's knowing how to stay grounded while she leans into the moment. It's using silence as a bridge, not a barrier. It's creating anticipation without rushing. Women don't respond to chaos, they respond to rhythm, the back and forth of emotional energy. A man who can create tension understands that the mind is more powerful than touch. When she starts imagining what could happen, that's when she becomes hooked. Tension works because it awakens something primal. It bypasses logic and goes straight to emotion. When she feels a mix of safety and uncertainty, the perfect balance, she becomes deeply attracted. This is how you become unforgettable without touching her. Finally, let's talk about restraint, the most misunderstood form of masculine power. Men often mistake dominance for aggression or attraction for pursuit. But true dominance is emotional discipline. Restraint isn't about withholding affection, it's about controlling your energy. It's knowing when to act and when to wait, when to lean in and when to let her come closer. You see, younger women are constantly approached. Compliments, messages, attention, it never stops. But when she meets a man who doesn't rush, who doesn't chase, who doesn't crumble under her beauty, that's when her interest awakens. Because restraint signals something rare: self worth, emotional strength, internal stability. When a man can feel attraction and still remain composed, that's when a woman begins to respect him. And respect always comes before desire. Restraint tells her you're not seeking approval. You're not driven by impulse. You're choosing your moments intentionally. That's powerful. That's attractive. That's unforgettable. A man who controls himself controls the dynamic, and that makes him magnetic. Restraint also builds mystery. She starts wondering, why is he so calm? Why doesn't he react like other men? What is he thinking? What is he feeling? And the moment she starts wondering, she starts feeling. Restraint makes her lean in. It makes her initiate. It makes her crave your attention because it's not easily earned. You're not being distant. You're being deliberate, selective, grounded. Women desire the man whose energy is given by choice, not by desperation. The man who values himself enough to wait. Restraint is the mark of a centered man, a man who chooses rather than reacts. And here's the paradox: the moment you stop trying to possess her is the moment she becomes drawn to you. Restraint doesn't push love away, it prepares the space where real connection can grow. Remember this: a man who controls his energy earns her respect. And once he earns her respect, desire follows naturally. And that's the real secret.